All right, everybody. Thanks for joining us. We are going to do a 3-round mock draft of the Buffalo Bills. And to help us with that, we've got Jeff Bell of footballguys.com and the Devi Royale podcast. Jeff, we're basically using the PFF mock draft simulator. So when it's Buffalo's turn to pick, you let us know who they take. If you want to share some commentary, of course, we would appreciate that. You ready to go?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, let's start this draft. And we get to pick number 27 here with Buffalo. Let's quick take a look and see who has just recently been selected. Johnston, Miles Murphy, Dalton Kincaid, Addison, Branch, Harrison. Okay, Jeff. Here's some picks for you here. You've got interior defensive end here, Kalijah Cansey, corner, guard, tackle, wide receiver, tight end. Where do you think Buffalo picks here? Who do you think?
Well, I mean, I started the show with it. If he's available, I feel like it's a reach, and I really hope that they would trade back to do it. But I think that Campbell would be the pick.
Gotcha. So if they could trade back, perhaps into the early second round,
yeah,
and who knows, and they get some additional picks this year, or perhaps a second round pick next year, or something to get draft capital. Jack Campbell would be your pick out of Iowa. Anything that you can stress about him that kind of separates him from other linebackers?
The natural middle linebacker instincts, his physicality. He was 6'5" player. He tested, I believe he was close to a 10.0 relative athletic score. He tested very well in the relative athletic score at the combine. Coming out of Iowa, I feel like you feel good about a linebacker out of Iowa. So just the importance in that defensive scheme that Campbell would fill a massive role. And that, as you look through the defense and really the roster as a whole, as much as they would be nice to add another wide receiver and boosting up the offensive line would help as well, I think that is the one glaring hole at middle linebacker.
Gotcha. So it's a need, but it's also sort of a best player available, especially if they could potentially trade out of that 27 slot.
Yeah, that's one. If you were able to work the board, move down, recoup a little bit of value, I think that would be the play there. But I think being at 27, we often talk about how drafts are 18 to 20 real first round talent players. And so at 27, you're firmly in that tier where a guy could go 20th or a guy could go 50th, and you wouldn't be shocked. Just there's a big talent grouping there.
Yeah, and it's possible, who knows, maybe some team is really interested in Gibbs or in Zay Flowers, and they want to move up and grab them there. I mean, it takes two to tango with the trade, so you never know. But I'll go ahead and slot Campbell here, and we'll move on to the second round.
Yep. Great plug and play guy.
Yeah, especially with a need at middle linebacker.
Yeah,
all right,
I mean, like Zay Flowers or DeJuan Jones would have been fun, but okay.
Pick 59. As we're looking at players who just went, but more importantly, here's the players who are available. Now, if you would like me to look at a certain position group, I will.
You know, we can do a scan through the best available, but I think I see my choice sitting at the very top right here. So
okay.
I'm going to go with Josh Downs. We're going to lock down that slot. I think Downs is a natural slot player, and I think he can add a little bit outside, but slot is a big need in this offense. And so adding Josh Downs, I think, would be a home run pick at pick 59. And so we'll go ahead and take that.
All right. An improvement over Khalil Shakir?
I believe so. I think that he can do more things. I think he's a better athlete than Shakir. I think he can do more vertically down the field. I think Shakir's a nice piece, but as you might run 4 wide receiver sets, you can put both of them inside. But I think Downs gives you just a lot more upside at the position. And it really, as you look at the Bills depth chart, they're really lacking one wide receiver, and Downs could be that guy.
All right. Sounds good. Let's lock it in.
It's a great pickup.
That's the pick.
59.
All right, now we go to the third round, tail end of the third round, to pick number 91. And we are met with a couple corners, guard, receiver, quarterback, safety, running back. Is there a position group that you're thinking about here at this particular pick, Jeff, or are you looking at best player available?
Probably best player available. I think it's interesting the needs that PFF has listed here, because like Trey White, and they used Kaiir Elam in the first round last year. So to say that corner's a big need is interesting to me, but that's neither here nor there. You can scroll back up a little bit, probably. I think that I'll just go ahead and I'll just take Chandler Zavala here. I think Chandler Zavala is a player that probably goes earlier than this. He really adds some level of physicality into that interior offensive line. I think they like a little bit more mobile, flexible pieces. They signed, I'm blanking on his name, guy from the Cowboys.
Connor McGovern
to play one of the guards. And I do think that they were like Ryan Bates at a guard, but I think that Zavala is a player that maybe he develops long-term into being the center replacement for Mitch Morris in the middle of the line. But I do think that they need to add a high upside piece. And so grabbing him here versus relative talent on the board, I think that it's a need position and it's probably a value position as well.
All right, we'll go ahead and take him. And that concludes our 3-round mock. And because everybody wants to know, they want to know rankings, we're going to get them. And looks like PFF. No, maybe like you said, you even mentioned this. It's a little bit higher than what he would normally go at. And they did like Josh Downs, love that pick. And Zavala B+. It's not bad. That's not a bad report card there for high school. So your thoughts on recap, Jeff?
I wish they had more picks, and I wish they had earlier picks because it'd be more fun to add more talent to this roster. It's a hard place, I think, right now, where their roster's in, because you've seen some age and some atrophy set in. You worry. The biggest thing as a Bills fan, I think that you worry that the window might be closed on winning a championship, that maybe, especially 2 years ago, that game against Kansas City when they were up and kicking off with 13 seconds left. I think that feels like the one that got away. And as you look at the defense starting to age out, we saw injuries really start to set in last year with this team. It just does feel like maybe the window is closed relative to everybody else in the AFC. But again, if you got Josh Allen and, it really just takes one draft class, hitting on one draft class can really reset that window quite well. We've seen it historically in the past. We saw the most obvious example of that is that great Seattle draft class where they brought in the Legion of Boom, they brought in Lester Wilson, and it was really the foundation for a Super Bowl team. So, and it can come from anywhere. We've seen later picks hit, and so they are in a position though that they do need to knock a draft class out of the park, because I do think that they've had some disappointing classes over the last couple of years.
Yep. Dan, your thoughts on the picks?
I mean, I love them, especially for where the Bills are. I think if they came out of this with these 3 picks. I think that's a great way, like Jeff said, to kind of reset the clock a little bit on the window and keep it going, especially with Campbell plugging in for Edmonds, and then Josh Downs at pick 59 is just incredible. I mean, Josh Downs is a personal favorite of mine, so to have him last that long, that'd be a home run for them. So it's a really good top 3 picks for them.
As we all agreed upon in our last video, all they need is DeAndre Hopkins, and they've got a berth right to the AFC Championship. And we said they win, so shoot, a Super Bowl. There we go. That's all they need. Is DeAndre Hopkins.
To avoid Patrick Mahomes, so that can
avoid Patrick Mahomes.
That pesky Mahomes guy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, Dan knows that pain too. So
I do. Yeah.
All right. Well, let us know what you think of the picks here that Jeff made. What would you have done differently? Let us know in the comments. And we want to thank you for tuning in. And thank you, Jeff. We appreciate you sharing your expertise and insights on this mock draft. Be sure to follow Jeff on Twitter at @ForWhomJBellTolls. And do us a favor, if you like the show, consider subscribing. Leave us a comment. Let us know how we did. And make sure that you check out our other videos, not just the Bills videos, but our other videos from other teams as we prepare for the 2023 NFL Draft. Your entertainment is our passion, and we'll see you next. No, we won't. We will see you after the draft to discuss teams as they head into the 2023 season. Thank you. You like that?
Yeah.
I kind of saved myself there.
You did. We're going to see you. No, we're not. We lied.
What?
We're going to see you next time. No, we're not. We lied.
No, we're not going to see you next time.